What a moment for this team, for this club.
Hey, you're taking me away from the celebrations, man. It's so beautiful. You just have to see what it means to us, what it means to the fans. Yeah, we're all so happy.
What pulled you through? They say about managing games, you take the lead. It's easier said than done sometimes to do that.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. You know, this game is a high-pressure game. It means a lot to both sides, and we managed to manage it well and take ourselves to the final, so we're happy.
And what about the atmosphere this crowd generated this evening?
Yeah, it started before the game, you know, when we were arriving on the coaches. I've never seen anything like it. And they pushed us and pushed us and pushed us, and they got this moment in the end, so we're celebrating it together.
Everyone's red today, though. Arsenal through. Troy, how are you feeling about what they did tonight?
You've got to give them credit. You have to give them credit. We were just talking there before, probably a bit of a disagreement. I think Nigel thought Declan Rice was best player on the pitch. I think we both agreed. I thought Gyökeres played his best game. I thought he was very, very good in terms of... Obviously, he had the chance in front of goal, which, Nigel, you think he should hit the target.
Minimum, he should hit the target. Because I only look at the levels of clubs and quality, which you guys understand. You know what it's like. The different clubs you pay for, there's different expectations. Where Arsenal are now, trying to go, and the club that they look at themselves at, I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm just saying for a striker in that moment, your bread and butter, what you go in the training ground for every day and every minute, got to minimum hit the target.
But they've got there in the end,
I thought he was fantastic.
You've been away from the pitch for too long.
I have definitely not been away from the pitch for too long.
I thought the way he linked up, I thought the way he held the ball up, I thought the way he occupied that whole back line on his own, I thought he was fantastic. And again, we could argue about the qualities and this, that, the other, but in a game like that, when you just got to see it through, I thought he was excellent. So we've given him a lot of stick on this show, but in this moment, you have to say he was the best player.
Before Grella gets in, because obviously they have the same kind of agreement, I would just say the two things can be true. He says that they think that Gyökeres had the best game in an Arsenal shirt. His best game in an Arsenal shirt, which is true. That's fine. That's his best game for the standards that he set. But still, overall, for the game of that magnitude, Declan Rice, I thought, was sensational. Didn't put a foot wrong. I've said he's been the Rolls-Royce engine for this Arsenal side for the entirety of the season. And as much as other players have looked tired and had to come back in, we talk about Saka coming in this weekend against Fulham, looks re-energised, was the star boy for them to lift them up and become infectious to the team. Declan Rice's standards are still
scored, by the way. What about just Arsenal in general, though, Grella, with the celebrations at the end? It felt like a massive moment, a huge sigh of relief for a lot of nervy fans today.
We read our mind with the outfits, but we also just read our mind now, because the thing I wanted to talk about was, you know why it's difficult to pick a man of the match? Because there probably wasn't really a man of the match. It was just another team performance where they were just organized and they lumbered through it and they got the job done, right? They didn't concede anything to Atletico Madrid. I think they ended up with one shot on target, maybe two at the end of the game if I missed it. But so that's what it really was. You could pick anyone out of the team and say, yeah, they were pretty good on the day. So for sure. And what it means to the fan base, and you could see they celebrated at the end like they won the tournament. But I think it's been a long time coming. It's a very organized team and a defensive team. And we know throughout the history of all sports, and especially football, organized teams, defensive sides win things. And so they're there with a big chance, I think, in the final, even though the quality gap is huge between Bayern Munich and PSG, the quality gap, make no mistake. Even if Arsenal lift the trophy, the quality gap is, we don't have a TV big enough. Your screen at home is not big enough to see the quality gap.
So what's a big chance then in a percentage?
But when you play defensive, you have a chance. When you're organized, you have a chance. When you're good on set piece, you have a chance. So for sure, they'll have a chance.
50-50?
No, not 60-40.
60-40?
For whoever goes to the final.
Okay.
60-40, they're 40.
It's perfect for Arsenal. This is set up perfectly. PSG or Bayern, you have the ball, we sit in our shape, and we hit you on the counter-attack. It's exactly what they want.
They're not going to be favourites, helps them as well in the final. There's a lot of debate, Grell, whether Arsenal fans want the Champions League or the Premier League. Obviously, both would be ideal, but which one is more important, do you think, to Arsenal?
Champions League is a no-brainer because they've never been able to do it. So they would accomplish something in the history with all the great squads and players that have played for them. They would accomplish something that not even those greats at Arsenal have done. So obviously, that's the obvious one for me. And the Premier League is one of the best leagues in the world, obviously, and to win that after the best league in the world, we could say. and to do that after, especially the last two seasons where they fell short and they put so much into it, you just think it's so hard to go again, like preseason again, and go back to the transfer window and go and try to get this right again, and to actually accomplish it is really admirable. If they're able to get both, it will be a historic season, rightfully so, and you got to give them all the credit, for sure. You can't come on here and say, oh, well, but they did it this way. regardless. If they lift the trophy, we've always said they're going to be measured not by how they play football, if they lift those trophies, that they can cross over the line.
Yeah.
Now they're getting really close. I think the Premier League is theirs. I think the final sets up for them in the way that the team that they're playing against is going to have a contrasting style. But we'll see. If they can get both, then it'll be a season that will be in history forever.
Which one do you think, Nige?
I mean, a lot of my friends who are Arsenal fans, for some, they want the Premier League. You know, the Premier League, domestic league titles are so big and they haven't won it in so long. I understand what Grell is saying, and I look at it for me as a club moving forward of where they see themselves as a football club. The Champions League is the one. You know, because they haven't won the Champions League ever, it will be history defining for them, their first ever one. But I would still believe the Premier League is the one that they want the most.
Is one more prestigious than another?
The Champions League is like the Hollywood A-star.
But I just think for where Arsenal have been at over this course of time, just winning something.
Yeah,
just
anything.
Winning something changes everything. So
yeah, because Sam thinks you'll lose to West Ham this weekend and get smashed in the final. Bit of positivity.
Great positivity. But, I mean, listen, whichever one they win, if they go on to win either or, it's a fantastic season. It's a cherry on top. And you talk about progression, how long Mikel Arteta has been there, the development that he's shown with the club. And every year you've seen a team progressively get better and better and better. So for me, that is credit to the hierarchy for trusting in him.
Something though, you're saying, or just as of
if
right
they
now?
win, if they win, yes.
Yeah.
If they don't,
the lowest parameter of it, you can say getting to the final is an improvement anyway. Right? They've been to 2 finals already.
Get into a Champions League.
It's an improvement, but I think where they're at now, it will be measured on what they win, not that they got there.
So let's see, as we mentioned, we're live on YouTube, how many of you think that Arsenal will win 2 trophies this season with the poll, and how many of you think they'll win none? 14% of you going for nothing for the Gunners this season. 66% say 2 trophies. Though, how do you feel about those odds, Nige?
Interesting. They put themselves in great positions. I think for the Premier League, I still reserve my decision until this West Ham game now, with obviously this win today.
So which one would you have voted for?
I'll probably say that the Premier League for me is the one that mainly is definitely.
You don't want to make a decision until there's 2 games.
I think that, listen, I don't care. Champions League, right? And it goes to the conversation people say, right? Defense wins championships. Yeah. In a league form, definitely. In a long term of consistency, yes. One-off game, it's a different scenario. Yes, they're strong defensively, but you've got to look at the opposition they're going to face. 2 of the best teams in world football with the best attacking front threes in the world with quality. It's not 2 teams who rely maybe on one player. You're talking about multiple threats that they're going to face. And you can go with your same mindset of being defensively strong. They can have possession, but these 2 teams have possession with a purpose.
He's going to tell you in June.
It's a different game.
In June, he's going to tell you how many trophies.
He's going to tell me in the Champions League final. I think they might do it today.
Second half of the Champions League final, they'll tell you.
Okay.
But
anyway.
What would you
I agree with Nigel. I think they'll win the Premier League. They're the favourites to win the Premier League. Destiny back in their own hands now. They control their own destiny. In the Champions League, they will come into the final as underdogs, regardless of who the other team is. So I see 1.
And you agree, Troy, just the Premier League?
Yeah.
Because earlier on this season, you made your case for 0 trophies for Arsenal.
No, if you actually remember the whole conversation, I actually said 1.
Did you?
And then you lot pushed me to say why they couldn't, so that's why that came.
Okay. So
you're blaming other people again?
No, it's there. If you watch it, the difference between me and you is I know what I said. I don't just make stuff up.
Oh, I don't know who you're talking about. Who's he talking about? Definitely talking about me.
But it was again, we're talking about like the future. I think talking about today, it was another big box ticks, wasn't it? Handled the pressure, handled the occasion. There was so much more pressure on Arsenal than there was Atletico, in my opinion. I thought Atletico, as Nigel alluded to perfectly earlier, they've squeezed all of the juice out of that orange. There was, even if they got through this, the final would have been way too much. They'd have been embarrassed. I thought Arsenal handled it great, and they made some changes. So fair play to them. On a night like this, it's very difficult to critique Arsenal other than to say well done.
And now they've gone first as well, Nige. By the way, who do you think that they will rather face in the final tomorrow when they're watching on? Which way are they trying to lean?
I think they probably would want to face, I would probably say, Bayern Munich.
Would you?
I think they probably would want to face Bayern Munich again, because they've got the confidence, obviously, beating them already earlier on, and what was said in that game and how chippy and chirpy it was. And obviously you've got Harry Kane, striker who used to be at Tottenham and everything. So I think they probably would want to face Bayern Munich. I think Bayern Munich, for me, still is the more questionable defence that would suit Arsenal for their attacking sets that they've got.
You see why I don't think that? Because they've won, it would make Arsenal favourites. Do you know what I mean? Because already this season they've beaten them.
I don't know if they face Bayern Munich. Would you really still say on what we've seen from Bayern Munich that Arsenal will go in as favourites just because of the previous result?
I think you would. They've beaten them and they're unbeaten this year. So why would they not be favourites in that situation? Do you get what I mean?
I see what you're saying from a fan perspective, but they will not go in as favourites. They will not. I'm telling you, they will not go into the Champions League as favourites to whoever wins.
This will be a Bayern Munich now with a Luis Diaz involved again.
But that game in the group stage. Take those games in the group stage and throw them out. Throw them out of your memory.
Well, the bookies right now have Arsenal as the favourites to win the Champions League, no matter who they face. So
where are those odds? Where can I bet that?
They're the odds-on favourite to win the Champions League at this point of the competition.
Yeah, he wants to go against the spread.
That makes sense because they're in the final.
Well, before.
The other two teams, we don't know which one are going to be in the final.
But even before, right, earlier this season, Arsenal were the favourites to win the Champions League.
I think you'd actually be hard-pressed to find a betting book right now that will give you who's going to lift the trophy while one team's in the final and the other two are not.
I think you could bet all season who's going to win.
Not like when it's staggered, though, because one team's not currently in the final. Maybe after tomorrow.
Okay.
Or show me the odds.
More than me.
Anyone who's watching, please gamble responsibly.
Apparently we legally can't show you, but that's what I'm hearing, that they are the favourites. Do you agree then, Grell? Who do you think they would rather face?
It's a toss-up. Toss-up. Both of the other teams on the other side are very similar, and they'll have a lot of the football, and they have unbelievable front three, unbelievable team, unbelievable organizations, the way they play. So no matter who they play against, it will be a very similar preparation for them.
And that is sit in, be defensively sound and try and hit them on the break.
It'll be what Arsenal have done all year. Sit in, be defensively solid, go into the wide areas, get crossed into the box and play for set pieces.
Play for their strengths from set pieces.
That's it. And it's not it comes across to most Arsenal fans like we're being like derogatory and trying to talk them down, but that's what they are very, very good at. So why are they now all of a sudden going to try and outplay any of these teams? They've done it so far. It's been successful for them. Keep doing it. And that's what they will do.
I think that what he said, when they have the football, is how they're going to try to win the game, and that's what they've done all season. I think that they're a really difficult team to play against when you have the ball.
Yes.
I think they close spaces well. Positionally, they're always organized. I think they're one of the most physical, fastest teams. The two center backs are incredible.
Yeah.
They win everything. Everything comes right back down. They're good in the air. I think if you have the football against them, it's a long night. You're not going to find a lot of moments. You're not going to find a lot of space. You might get one opportunity. You might get two opportunities, but that's it. They're very good defensively.
And just to that point, every single one of them not only knows their job well, they enjoy their job. So the two centre-backs love keeping clean sheets, love tackling. The goalkeeper loves to make saves. Declan Rice loves to run around. What are you smiling for?
I'm just laughing at you. Yeah, this problem.
It's true, though, isn't it?
I'm not disagreeing like this. You're right.
And the one thing that no one's talking about, you just said Luis Diaz coming back. Timber's probably going to be back. So they'll have their proper backline as well.
That's a big call, though, man. Like, he's been out so you're going to put him straight in a Champions League final?
You're going to go into it with Ben White?
You're going to... Right about now, for players that are fit and have been playing with him, that will be the... I don't think you can put Timber in now, with how long he's been out for.
Why would you, Troy?
That's wild.
I don't think you could.
Yes.
Even with not significant match fitness?
Yes, because he is the best player. You want your best players playing in the biggest games.
But they got so far with Ben White now, haven't they? So
well, when they've chopped and changed him and Mascara. Remember, Ben White got his backside handed to him. I had to realise what I was going to say then. His backside handed to him against Sporting, got dropped. They put Mascara in. He got his backside handed to him. He got dropped. So all they've been doing is keep changing the two.
I understand
Timber is the number one. Earlier on in the season, you was making the case he's the best
not disputing
right back in the Prem, I think, or
yes, I said, at the time, yes, he is. He's the best right back in the Premier League.
You need him
I'm not disputing the quality that he has, but now you get to a Champions League final, you talk about momentum, fitness, players out there. It's a big call that if he's fit and available, to put him in a Champions League final without playing games before.
Do you know the one thing that tilted in his favour? The Carabao final that we did, when he puts Kepa in over Raya.
Yeah,
so
100%.
You go with that one, you try to be loyal and all of that. This is about getting the job done.
No problem, getting the job done, but it's going to be a big call, because if it goes horribly wrong,
you still go back to these two.
You're going to get blamed.
No, but say you go back to these two, don't you? If he gets injured in the game, you take him off and you bring a Ben White, you bring a Mascara in.
But I think the difference with the Carabao Cup final was, yes, it was done out of loyalty, wasn't it, for Kepa? Whereas you could argue that he's going with fitness for
Carabao Cup. You're right. Carabao Cup was done where they did it that most teams did that the second goalkeeper will get a game, and that was done in a run.
By the way, it's
of
30th,
games.
May 30th.
I'm about to say, if you're worrying about fitness on your last game, Last game.
Yeah.
He's got all of the time off plus pre-season to get fit if anything bad happens. He will want to be fit because the World Cup's there as well.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you, Timber being 80% fit starts again.
OK, anybody got Arsenal winning, having said all that in the final?
Wouldn't put my money on it, but I can make an argument as to why. I think we'd all say the same thing. We fancy the other teams, but defensively they're
I want to bet against you.
Oh,
with those funny odds you got. I want to bet against you.
I've also
You wouldn't
got
rule Arsenal out.
winning in my bracket.
I'll take Bayern plus 300.
You won't rule Arsenal
Put my
out.
house on it.
These odds. What about a note on Atletico Madrid? Obviously, we'll talk more about them later on, Grell, but were you disappointed that they didn't give more tonight in London?
Disappointed because you watch Champions League semi-final, you want to see a shot take more than one, a team take more than one shot on target. But in the reality of the situation, if you watch Atletico Madrid and you understand really what they are, I think they were punching way above their weight. I think they got everything out of that team that they could get.
Yeah.
I don't think they belong in a semi-final. I think they're 25 points back in their domestic league as well.
Liga, yeah.
And they didn't do anything particularly well. Like when you watch Atletico Madrid, back in the day, you would say, oh, well, defensively, this is going to be their dogs. There's going to be a really difficult game. And then we say, oh, well, now they attack better, right? But they don't really attack that well. And they don't, I mean, one shot on target in the Champions League semifinal. And they don't really defend that well. They only kept one clean sheet throughout the entire, every game in the Champions League. So I think they punched above their weight. And I think they gave everything they had. But they're no match for what Arsenal is.
He squeezed every bit of juice out of that team as they could. That's just reality. They played at their maximum today. Even with resting and changing the entire squad for their La Liga game before this second leg, that was the maximum we could get.
So it's not on him, it's on the team, you would say?
I disagree, but I know we got just a break. I could have a full...
It's a little bit on him in the sense of now, because I said to Troy off camera now, is this the point where you've got to start questioning now, is Simeone still the man to lead Atletico forward? Because we can't keep saying it's a rebuild, it's a transition. We've been saying that for how many years now?
But you're saying he's squeezing the best out of his team.
Because of the players, because of recruitment and the players that they've got there. That's it. Like you can't say, and there's a reason why now Julian Alvarez is being linked with other top clubs. Like to come away, like, how are you going to build something successful and sustainable when every time you get a good quality player you lose them?